Liverpool 2, Fulham 2. The Reds rescue a point very late on thanks to a returning Diogo Jota. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, today's video is going to be the not-so-instant match reaction to Liverpool's very difficult and very frustrating 2-2 draw at Anfield yesterday against Marco Silva's Fulham. Full credit should go to Fulham, of course, for holding Liverpool to a draw, but Liverpool weren't half the makers of their own downfall. One person in particular is being targeted, one Andy Robertson, who was sent off very early on in the game. The Reds had to play the large majority of the game with only 10 men, but managed to still rescue a point thanks to an immediate return of Diogo Jota coming off the bench and being the Reds' hero on the day. We're going to be talking about the game, we're going to be talking about the performance, the result, the aftermath of all this, and what it means for the Premier League title race and everything else in between. But before we go any further in discussing all of that, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things always and forever be greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section as well. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, that I'm sure will make for great and interesting reading. Please do use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on this particular topic, Liverpool and the Premier League title race, the game yesterday and the like. I'm sure it'll all make for great and interesting reading, so please do get involved. Right, now that that's out of the way and done with, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Liverpool's performance yesterday, Liverpool's result yesterday, the 2-2 draw, and the aftermath of what is to come. Just typical, isn't it? It's just typical that I open my big mouth and in the past couple of games, Liverpool dropped points. I said after the Manchester City game that we were going to go on and win the Premier League title. The two games in the Premier League that we've had since, we've drew. And we've not been entirely convincing in any of the three games that we've played in all competitions since. We may have beat Girona in midweek, but we weren't that convincing in all honesty. So yeah, I kind of hold my hands up on this one and say I think I may have jinxed us a little bit. But it isn't all doom and gloom, of course. Liverpool managed to rescue a point yesterday in very late circumstances, thanks to Diogo Jota. How good is it to see him back? How good is it to see him back? Absolutely phenomenal. And he takes his goal beautifully as well. Lovely little turn and a fantastic finish to just wrong foot the goalkeeper, sit him down and to fire it into the back of the net whilst doing so. Fantastic to have him back. We will talk more about Jota later on in the video. But I'd like to fully start off with talking about Fulham. Full credit to Fulham. They picked up some really good results this season. Marco Silva's side have really gone from strength to strength this season. They obviously picked up a point against Arsenal. They picked up a few points here and there. They've done really well in certain games across the campaign so far. They've been really, really good, have Fulham. And yesterday was no exception. Again, they were strong in all areas. Anthony Robinson down that left-hand side was electric. He was absolutely brilliant yesterday. Makes me kind of think that maybe we need a left back like that. I don't know, just throwing it out there. But yeah, he was brilliant yesterday. I thought Fulham overall were brilliant yesterday, and I thought on some level maybe the point was deserving. Having said that, I will get the negative and the moan out of the way first. The referee was abysmal. The referee was absolutely abysmal. He was right to send off Andy Robertson. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But the game could have changed very differently had the referee and VAR for that matter actually done their job. I mean, how Andreas Pereira gets away with that foul that he does on Gravenberch, I believe, is beyond me. How Issa Diop gets away with a foul on Andy Robertson is beyond me. And they happened within the opening 10 minutes of the game. They could have been down to like 9 men or at least 10 men. Or should have been down to at least 10 men. But by the opening 10 minutes. It really could have been that big of a deal for Liverpool. Not to say that that would have been the only reason why we've lost. I'm not saying that is the reason why we lost at all. It is a contributing factor. It is something that we cannot possibly ignore. It's not something that we can just sweep under the carpet. Because again, it's another bad example of bad refereeing and bad usage of VAR. Because I don't understand how the referee can't see those challenges. And I certainly can't understand how the VAR has completely missed it. And they reviewed the Diop one and said, well, it wasn't bad enough to be considered a red card. It wasn't a yellow card either, I don't think, but it wasn't a red card. The Pereira one, though, not even checked. Not even checked. I don't understand how that can be possible. And then to really rub salt into the wounds, of course, Pereira opens the scoring for Fulham mere minutes later, capitalising on another mistake from Andy Robertson and scoring the opening goal of the game. A few minutes later, Andy Robertson then gets sent off. Poor touch from him. It allows Harry Wilson, ex-Liverpool of course, to capitalise. He's in on goal. He squares it, but Robertson by then has already made a challenge. It's a clear red. It's an obvious red. It's a stonewall red card. No complaints whatsoever from me. The referee did get that one absolutely 100% correct. And he will now miss the Southampton game midweek in the League Cup. Luckily, it's only one game. With Kostas Tsimikas also being out, we kind of need Robertson right now as our only natural left back. So it kind of, is a bit fortunate that it's only going to be one game. I don't know, man. Robertson's come under a lot of criticism this season, and I think a lot of it has been warranted in certain aspects. I also think there have been one or two good games from Robertson this season in which I think your criticism or your praise needs to be as loud as your criticism. But at the same time, I think he's done. I think he's done at this level. I think he's done with Liverpool. I think he's past his use-by date, with all due respect. And that's not to take away anything that Robertson has achieved over the years. That's not to take away how once upon a time he was arguably the best left back in the world playing in his position for a time. But I just feel with this new system, with the longevity aspect of the way that he's been playing over the years, I personally think he's done. I think he's a little done at this level, and it's unfortunate and horrible to say because he's been a wonderful servant to Liverpool. He's achieved so much, like I say. He's a brilliant leader. He's an amazing character, it seems, behind the scenes and with the teammates as well. But unfortunately, there's just been too many mistakes this season alone that I've seen Liverpool drop points or lose stupid goals because of his and it's not just him, but of course he's culpable for most of these in a big way, so he's going to obviously take the lion's share of the blame. I just think it's time to move on maybe from Andy Robertson. When Tsimikas gets back, put him regularly. I don't rate Tsimikas' defending at all, but at least with his technical ability and with his crossing as well, I can at least make peace with the fact that his defending is going to be a bit 50-50 at times. Robertson, I can't fault his work rate. I can't fault his desire, his passion, his leadership. But for me, it's about his decision making now. That's seemingly a bit all over the place. It's about how good he is on the ball, which he's never been the best. I think even he'll admit he's never been the best. But it is starting to get a bit frustrating now. And things like this really do not help his cause, unfortunately, for him. Liverpool then went gutsy. We went really gutsy. We dug in. We went more attacking. We took the game to Fulham. We weren't going to sit 10 men behind the ball, park the bus and try and hit them on the counter. We went a bit gutsy. And in the second half, we get our reward. Mo Salah once again being at the being at the front of everything that we do that's positive going forward. A beautiful cross into the area for Cody Gakpo to head home. Mo Salah once again, goal contribution, output, once again on point. He was brilliant in doing that. He was brilliant in doing that, and it's a lovely ball. And Gakpo with a very smart and very good header to find the back of the net and make it 1-1. And then you're thinking, right, here we go. Liverpool are once again not going to play well, but somehow, some way, get the result that we need. And then, again, defensively, we slip up. Poor defensive errors again, and Fulham are once again in on goal. And it's a little bit fortuitous because it's not the cleanest of strikes, but it's enough for it to be enough on Munez's kind of... He just gets something on that cross from Robinson. He just gets something on the cross from Robinson that diverts it into the back of the net. Alisson standing no chance. Poor from the defence. Poor from the from everybody involved defensively to even allow something like that to happen. And yeah, it was just shocking, man. It was just shocking. Trent fell asleep a little bit. Some of his passing as well was completely off for that game. I thought Trent didn't really have a particular great game either. Let's not completely scapegoat Andy Robertson in this situation, but I thought Trent defensively wasn't as great as what we've known him to be this season. Thought he had a poor game. Even going forward, he had a poor game. Some of his passing was just well off. Yeah, it wasn't a great day for the Liverpool defenders at all. And then just when you think maybe it's not going to be our day at all, Diogo Jota steps up. He steps up off the bench. It's a beautiful turn from Darwin Núñez's pass, and it's a brilliant finish. Ice cold, running through his veins. Lovely turn taken away from the defender to give him half a yard. And then he just wrong foots the goalkeeper, smashes it into the back of the net, and it's 2-2. And, you know, we could have probably had a penalty in that situation as well. Joe Gomez was not judged to have been brought down by the defender, even though he seemingly was. Another shocker from the referee, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. We'll take a point. It's not amazing. It's not great. It's nothing that I'm going to lose my head over completely. Yes, it is frustrating we didn't get the win. Yes, it is frustrating that individual errors once again cost us. Individual errors cost us against Newcastle. Individual errors have once again cost us in this game. We can't keep making it because we once had an 8-point lead. That has now been cut completely down. That has been completely cut down. And obviously Chelsea are winning right now. At the time of recording, Chelsea are winning right now. If that obviously sees the game out and Chelsea win that game against Brentford, that's happening right now, the lead is going to be cut even further. Yes, we may have a game in hand, but points on the board mean more than games in hand. We've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of things to sort out. We've started to lose control of games a little bit over the past couple. We've started to really just concede stupid opportunities. We've just concede stupid goals. We just make too many stupid errors in judgment. And we just need to cut that out ASAP. But I can't necessarily fault the performances of a lot of these players. Like I say, I pick out Trent, I pick out Robertson. It wasn't their best game by any stretch of the imagination, and that may be an understatement. But you know what? For some of the performers out there, the midfield, Szoboszlai was brilliant. In defence, I thought Van Dijk was solid. Gomez was decent. Can't really fault them at all. Salah had a bit of a quiet game, but again, what he did do was right. Núñez is Darwin Núñez. I was tempted to make a video on that guy after what happened in Girona midweek. And I may still have to because I think it is a talking point that needs to be discussed even more so. Even though we have the same conversation every few weeks about Darwin Núñez, I feel like we have to once again address that situation. He is what he is. But it's fantastic to see Harvey Elliott back. It's fantastic to see Diogo Jota back, and especially on the score sheet. We need him to stay fit. We need to wrap him in bubble wrap him in cotton wool, protect him at all costs, because a large part of the difficult run that we have from now until probably the end of the season is going to rely on goals. And Diogo Jota needs to be there, because we can't rely on Darwin Núñez, and we certainly can't rely on Mohamed Salah to constantly and consistently drag us out of every situation. We need others to step up and step in, and Diogo Jota fits the bill completely. And like I say, the goal he scored yesterday was cold as ice. And how could I forget the main man of the moment, Ryan Gravenberch, yet again, with another phenomenal performance. He was here, there and everywhere yesterday. He was playing in about 3, 4, 5 different positions right the way across the game yesterday. And he was absolutely phenomenal in all of them. I thought he was absolutely exceptional. And when asked to do a job, he did that job down to perfection. I thought he was absolutely brilliant yesterday. Look, I take nothing away from Fulham, like I mentioned at the top of the video. I thought Fulham were brilliant. Fulham probably deserved something from the game. But at the same time, it's still frustrating that individual errors once again cost us. And we just have to live with that again. We just have to live with that until we can put it right next week. We've got Tottenham coming up next week. We know that it could be a potential banana skin, even though it is, with all due respect, Tottenham, so we don't exactly know what we're going to get from that Tottenham side in terms of performance levels. We just know that they're going to play their way. We know that we have to be ready for it, and we know that defensively we have to be switched on, and we have to take our chances when they come. So that's that. We can't focus on what happened elsewhere. Today, Manchester City lost. They, for me, are completely out of the title race now. Arsenal dropped points yesterday. They drew with Everton 0-0. We can't focus on that. We can't focus on other teams dropping points. We can't focus on whether Chelsea win today or not. We have to focus on our own game. That's the whole reason why we had that cushion of 8 points at the top of the table once upon a time. And now, over the course of the past week or two, that lead has been completely cut down. Again, we have a game in hand, but that's not guaranteed a win, even if it is against Everton. Not completely guaranteed a win. And I think we've had a few performances now where they've not exactly been up to the high standard that we know. Yesterday's performance was gutsy, but it was an awkward game because obviously we were down to 10 men for a large part of it. So it's an awkward game to sort of call and react on and talk about, because that normally does not happen in games, especially not Liverpool games anyway. So, awkward game, weird game to talk about, but again, fair few positives to take in terms of us being well built, collective enough to obviously stick together when we went down to 10 men. But again, defensive errors cost us, and there's a lot to learn and a lot to improve upon there. But Harvey Elliott being back, getting more minutes is decent. He was unlucky not to score that chance he had where it just went wide of the far post when he cut inside on his left foot. Jota being back and getting on the score sheet is brilliant for us. Love that so much for him. But yeah, fullbacks had nightmares. Alisson back in goal as well. The midfield still strong. The midfield's still strong and still brilliant. So, yeah, fair few positives, but a fair few negatives as well, as obviously Liverpool dropped points at Fulham yesterday. It finished 2-2 at Anfield in what was a very frustrating day for the Reds. The referee didn't help, but that's not the be-all and end-all as to why Liverpool dropped points. Fulham were brilliant on the day and deserved something from that game. There you have it. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, about Liverpool, the game yesterday, the title race, or anything else that you want to talk about in regards to Arnie Slot's men. Drop it in the comment section. Use and abuse that section. People would love to hear from you all and what you have to say on that topic. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video / not so instant match reaction to Liverpool's 2-2 draw with Fulham yesterday. Thank you all for your continued or even brand new support to the channel. If you are brand new, welcome along. Thank you for joining the journey. I hope you enjoy it. And like I say, all of your support is very much greatly appreciated by myself. So thank you all so much for that. You guys are awesome. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.